I think one of Demir's talents is that he's really good at, I'll say, reading me in terms of where I am on that day. And there are some days he's very aware, or very intuitively aware of, I maybe can't go as much as I can, and so, you know, it would be throttled back a bit. And then there are other days where I think he can sense that I have 10 ounces more, 3 ounces more of energy to give, and he'll draw that out. I remember one time coming to train and I'd had a lousy day. Like, I was so upset, I was so mad, like spitting nails mad. Got changed, and I remember Demir and I did half an hour of kickboxing. And I just remember having all of that almost anger and being upset and frustrated. It was gone, and I remember being able to laugh, and that was a big deal.
And I'd like to leverage off of that last point. You'd asked about the catalyst. Why do you keep coming back to work with Demir? To me, it's about a relationship, and it is a relationship with ups and downs. He asks you what kind of day you're having, and you talk about what kind of day you're having, and that speaks to sometimes you're motivated to want to go and lift as much, in my case, as much weight as possible, and that kind of thing. Or there are days when you just feel like dogging it, and the workouts are, and I say this to people all the time, it is never the same. They're never repetitive. They're never easy. And that's really the service that I feel that I'm paying for. But more importantly, he reads you and is interested enough in what you're doing or what kind of day you're having to tailor make the activity to take that into account. My previous experience, I'd had memberships, as I mentioned, at the Y, where it was sort of come and go. I would go with a neighbor, and the two of us would get up before work in the morning at 5 and try and go and work out. But if he was sick and didn't go, then I didn't go, or I was, vice versa, and the motivation sort of lacked. The membership existed and the facility existed to go to it, but there was no draw, and there was no reason why you should go. And that reason is manifest or personified by Demir. There's somebody waiting for you, so that's why you go.
I think first of all, it's a commitment. I've paid for his time, and I'm using that time. So, I mean, that's kind of number one for me. Number two, in terms of the ongoing motivation, I've come to really appreciate how I feel after the fact. I may feel awful and I may be hurting and whining and complaining during that 30-minute workout, but when it's done and I stop and catch my breath, I realize how good I feel. And it's wanting to have that good feeling afterwards that I guess I tolerate. I work through that pain or that discomfort that I get pushed through. It's for the benefit afterwards. And some ways I can lift this much. I can do this. I never could before. And it's that sense of accomplishment that I think helps with the motivation.